So on January 29th, 1861, Kansas became a state. So this coming up January, I thought we would do some games from the 1800s to celebrate 160 years of Kansas being a state. So one of the first games we're going to do is marbles. So they actually don't know when marbles started. They found marble ruins in ancient Egyptian tombs, in Pompeo. Native Americans had their own version of it. Marbles is, there's a lot of different games that are called marbles. Basically, if you have a marble in it, you can call it marbles. So the most version, or the most common form, is called rings, or is a ring version of marbles. So what we're going to do is show you how to play a quick game of it, or how we are going to play, at least in our gym. So what you'll do is you'll take 13 marbles. You'll put them either in an X or a T, whichever way you want to call it. We put them inside a ring. You can either use a hula hoop, since we're in the gym and I don't like my marbles going flying all over the place. We're going to use a hula hoop because that's going to help keep it. That's going to be our boundaries. Normally, the way we played it as a kid is we took a string, you put a string out, you put the marbles inside like that, and then when you hit it, or when you did your shooting, if you knocked a marble and it went out of the string, then you got to keep the marble, especially if you play a version called keeps. We're not playing that since I'm providing all the marbles. But so you'll take a shooter. So we'll put 13 marbles in. You'll take a shooter. A shooter is normally bigger than regular marbles. But if you don't have a shooter, I only have like 3 of these left. They seem to walk away. Get stuck under the bleachers and different things, and they get lost. So we're going to use, you can either use a regular marble. Now, the proper way to hold it, as I've learned, is to bring your hands in, to hold your hands like that, set the marble right in there, and you kind of want to just hold it with that finger. So you're going to knuckle down on it. So you're going to put your hand down. So if you've ever heard the term knuckle down and get to work, it actually came from a version of marbles where people would put their knuckle down on the ground, and if you had your knuckle up, then you're kind of cheating. So you put your knuckle down and you just take your thumb, you set your thumb back behind here, hold that in there, so you get that in there. Got your hand tight, bring your thumb in, set it in there and pull it. That finger holds, and either do it on the hula hoop or right inside, where their hand's right inside. And then you knuckle down, you flick it, and whatever marble touched the side, you would pull out. So I would get those 2 marbles, and you keep your marble there as long as it's not touching the side. If your marble hits the side, then that means your marble would have rolled out. That means you need to start back in your regular position. If it stays in here, then your next turn, after everybody goes, your next turn, you would come in and you would start from that position where your wrist is at, knuckle down, get that in there, hold it tight, thumb, and I would take those 2 out, and I would just keep adding to my thing until all the marbles are gone. So you'll move around the marbles. Usually 3 to 4 people is plenty to have in one game. If you get more than that, then it's a little crowded. And that is the old version of marbles. Now, I have read, I don't know if it's true or not, but one of the stories I read is from like in the prairies where people didn't have marbles and they couldn't find them. They either made them with wood, or they played a version of marbles with rocks. So kids in Kansas and some of the like cow towns and stuff, or outside, would play. They would get rocks and they would put their marbles out here, and they would set up their 13 rocks, and it was called drops. And so they would hold it out, and you had to be outside the line, but you would hold your hand over there and you would drop the rock. And if you hit the rock that you dropped, you would keep that rock. So that was called drops. So kind of like marbles in the sense if they didn't have the round marbles, that would work. So there's my version of marbles that we are going to play in my gym. I hope you find something to play. If you can't find a marble to play, maybe you can find a few rocks and you can play drop. Have a great day.